afternoon. I'm Sam. I hope you're well. I'm going to discuss the constructivist theory, its characteristics, strengths and limitations, along with my values and beliefs and the reasons as to why I feel the constructive approach promotes effective teaching and learning experiences. Now, constructivism is a learning theory supporting the value that children learn best when they're engaged, actively taking part, shaping and constructing their own learning and building on existing learning foundations and experience. Throughout life, we're learning from our parents, peers and environments. When we start school, we have our own unique understanding of the world, our place in it, due to all our prior experiences. Constructivists believe that all of this prior learning is important, that it should be considered, acknowledged and built on. O'Donnell in 2012 agreed that teachers need to provide experiences to allow students to build on their current knowledge of the world and social groups. Now, Bruner in 1990 also had this opinion, as constructivism enables the individual to make sense of information for themselves. There are two forms of constructivism, psychological and social. Psychological or cognitive relates to how a learner learns best, as we all learn in different ways. We all have different ways in which we prefer to learn. Social constructivism focuses on the necessary social process required for a learner to build knowledge. Jean Piaget and Vygotsky believe that social interaction is a necessary component in enabling an effective learning experience, that children learn from each other, their environment, through observation, discovery, collaboration, discussing ideas and formulating a new level of understanding. Collaboration allows students to interact, assist, verbally and emotionally, learn and model problem-solving skills from each other. Interaction with knowledgeable people from the community or the teacher is required to link previous knowledge to current experiences, allowing the construction of new ideas and causing a deeper level of understanding to develop. Jerome Bruner also shared this belief. He called such support and guidance internal scaffolding. Now, Vygotsky believed that a student can practice or learn a new skill and perform better if supported by an expert who offers and suggests ideas, increasing the student's own problem-solving skills. Constructivists believe that teachers' role is to actively facilitate the student's learning process through monitoring, providing support and asking thought-provoking questions, providing expert guidance, encouraging students to have the confidence to face and solve challenges whilst allowing them to feel safe and supported. Now, through observation and asking these questions, the teacher exposes areas of weakness in understanding at that exact point in time, enabling provision of further learning experiences to clarify these misunderstandings. No child's left behind. Rather than children listening to a lecturer being told how to solve a problem, they're actively involved in their learning using a hands-on approach, as Harry and Baru described this learning as learning by doing in 2000. Now, students are encouraged to learn by carrying out the task, increasing and enhancing their problem-solving skills and abilities by building on their previous knowledge and experiences. Rather than just memorising numbers or facts, they're actively searching for answers. The student is having to think, explore and make sense of the problem or task at hand, making the process personalised and meaningful. They're improving their cognitivity, furthering their understanding and knowledge. The National Training Laboratory's Bethel Main's learning pyramid shows an average learning retention rate. Student-centred learning approach is very effective. They learn more through doing rather than by listening to instruction alone. Now, Merlock supports this when he states, active learning improves students' understanding and retention of information and can be very effective in developing high-order cognitive skills such as problem-solving and critical thinking. That was in 2014. Now here we have Bloom's revised taxonomy of learning, the pyramid representing a hierarchy of thinking processes, skills and understanding. By creating a better, more in-depth knowledge, we stimulate surface learning and understanding, working through each level to develop the means and skills to establish deep learning. The strengths of this theory are as follows. Children are active. They're active learners. They're not passive recipients in a teacher-led classroom. They're participating, actively discovering their own learning. Constructivism promotes and values each student's heritage and previous learning experiences. Anthony and Walshall, 2007, describe it as linking what they know and what they need to learn. Now, parents of the community are encouraged to share their cultures and histories with the class, increasing the children's respectful awareness and understanding of the backgrounds of their peers, reinforcing the educational goals set out on Goal 2 Melbourne Declaration, creating a better relationship between the children's caregivers and the school also. Now, research studies, such as that compiled by Houghtonville and Conway in 2007, found that a learning partnership with families and parents involvement in their child's schooling actually improves success rates in learning and student achievement. Now, the weaknesses of the theory are, a student learns best when they feel safe, supported and confident to ask questions. It takes time to develop this supportive environment in the class and build confidence. Classes are often overcrowded, making it very difficult to create the happy and safe learning environment that's needed. There's a wider curriculum. A teacher only has a limited amount of time to impart relevant skills and knowledge. Brown and Rose in 1995 found that many teachers lack the time and some don't feel confident in teaching a class where they might not actually have the necessary knowledge to answer all of the questions being asked. Some children might not have prior experience of having to take turns, listen respectfully to others. If they lack these essential skills, group work would be very, very difficult. The teacher would need more time to help the child learn and adapt these skills in appropriate boundaries before group work could continue. Now, I'm going to speak about why I think, my experiences of why I think this theory is relative. Now, when I lived back in England, before I moved to Australia, I was a social worker. At times I supported children from backgrounds in their class, many of who had suffered abuse. One little girl, Philippa, had spent most of her early years socially depraved and neglected. She didn't speak a lot, was very shy, and her writing and reading was really poor. Now, the teacher chose to group her with children who she felt she might work well with. They were all mixed ability. As the teacher explained, this helped all of the children learn from each other. She was right. Within months, I watched Philippa listening to her peers, learning from them, speaking to them, learning new skills for herself. Now, the teacher gave them a bridge designing activity. She said the bridge should be made strong enough to hold a book and could only be made from paper and sellotape. She asked the children to think about how they could make this paper stronger, to collaborate, problem solve. They were motivated and set to work, swapping ideas and advice. I watched as Philippa's confidence grew. She offered her opinions and tried out their ideas, learning through actively solving her own problems and feedback from her friends. The teacher watched on throughout the lesson, asking open-ended questions, giving tips, but never taking part. Now, I've experience of this theory working. I feel diversity is on the rise. Teachers should be promoting inclusion, providing supporting learning experiences students can successfully collaborate together, embracing differences, similarities, building on existing knowledge to intensify their learning and understanding of the world. And these are all important things, especially in today's society. Now, the constructivist theory has greatly impacted today's teaching, its pedagogies, and how education should be received. Teachers must embrace the ever-increasing diverse needs of the student population. Every student should have the chance to excel. In order to do this, we need to allow the students to be active participants in their education, to encourage them to ask questions, take their previous experiences into account and building on these with further experiences, encouraging critical thinking to scaffold empowering creative abilities that they need to confidently make decisions to become independent learners who are able to generate solutions and take initiative in later life, allowing them to make sense of their own learning. Thank you for listening.